Hello again, sick, twisted weather freaks, and welcome to another fun-filled, action-packed, intellectually stimulating edition of This Week in Weather. I'm your host and meteorologist, DT, from WX Risk here in Central Virginia, your captain of chaos, colonel of confusion, commander of catastrophe. Let's talk about This Week in Weather, and we've got a couple events coming up. Of course, this is obviously this current one coming up for Sunday, but you have another one beyond that one. So our topics today will be, in fact, the Sunday, February 7th event, and then one for February 12th or 13th, or 11th or 12th, depending on the timing. So that one on February 12th and 13th, I've been looking at for quite a while. I think that's going to be a significant event for the lower Middle Atlantic region. Anyway, there's a picture of my smiling face from Richmond, Virginia. And there you can reach me over the Verizon and my Gmail account. There you go. There's a Twitter page. Be sure to stop on by and give a follow. And there, of course, there's the Facebook page. So let's get right to it. Here's our teleconnections update. Now, this here is, of course, is the ideal setup of the four major teleconnections or jet stream patterns configurations. Really, that's what we're talking about. When we say teleconnections, we mean just certain specific jet stream patterns and configurations which we can recognize as meteorologists and climatologists, which favor East Coast winter storms. So this diagram here shows us, of course, the EPO, the Eastern Pacific Oscillation, in the negative phase, and the PNA on the Pacific side, which is the West Coast ridge, being in the positive phase. That's what we want to see. And of course, then on the Atlantic side, this here is the Pacific side there. And here's the Atlantic side. We want to see a negative Arctic oscillation and a negative NEO, which is often referred to as the Greenland block. So if we look at our current data and see what's going on here, at the top we have the Arctic oscillation here. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see it some more. There you go. And this is the Arctic oscillation up top, and you can see that it is, in fact, extremely, there we are right now. And look at the data here. As we go into February 7th with that big storm on the East Coast, or at least moderate-sized storm on the East Coast, it's very negative, and it stays negative. Now, it does show some rise here, but then it levels off here mid-February, so that's good. And then, of course, we also happen to have the NEO down here, which is also right there, and then it goes extremely negative here. And you can see it also rises and then levels off towards the end. So there was all that. Now, if we go to here to the Pacific side of things, well, again, so we do have the negative on the Atlantic here. We do have the Atlantic and the NEO negatives. Now let's go to the Pacific side, and then we can see that the PNA is negative, which is not great, because that's sending energy into California. So that's our trough on the West Coast. But look what happens towards the middle of the month. It goes positive, and then the EPO, which right now is close to neutral, hovers around there, drops down, it goes back to negative here, February 11th and 12th, which is when we may have our next big event, and then it kind of goes neutral towards the middle of the month. So all in all, teleconnections are in pretty good shape. And of course, there's also the MJO. And we can see that the MJO strongly in mid-February moves into phase 8, and then towards the end of the month into phase 1. And both of those are pretty good snowstorm or winterish patterns for the eastern U.S. And that's the first time that's happened all winter long. So that is a significant development, if in fact that is correct. Now, let's talk about February 7th and 8th. Now, this was the model data here from several days ago. This was came out on February 1, and this is what it was showing for February 7th. So the European model was showing a nice massive system here along the coast, the rain snow line right over central Virginia, Richmond, down to Greensboro, up towards, let's say, Salisbury, Maryland. And the low really bombing out 982 millibars over the Chesapeake Bay and then going up New York. So obviously, this is a massive storm. Look at the wind field behind it. And of course, the system includes here, look at this, the model had it at 970 millibars right here. Can you believe that? For the morning of February 8th. That would be, of course, a Monday morning. Now, that was a long way out. The model is showing it, but, it was definitely there. And I talked about it in previous video updates. And these are the Arctic cold temperatures the model was forecasting behind the storm in February 8th or 9th, the cold air being pulled in. In case you can't see it, These are, let me get my marker out here. This is all sub-zero temperature readings here and in here, and these are single digits and teens in Virginia, North Carolina. Well, teens in North Carolina, and then also single digits in the Shenandoah Valley, and then single digits near zero in Pennsylvania. And of course, there's a lot of snow on the ground in these areas, so if we actually have the cold air coming in behind this system on February 7th with this snow on the ground, it's going to make it even colder. So that's something to keep in mind. And this is what the model is looking like. The next run here, this is February 2nd. The European model, again, showing an A-B system. I talked about that earlier on the newsletter, the 3-week newsletter. You can see that there's a secondary low, then primary low. The big low is in the southern stream, but there's still a little bit of something there. And of course, that disrupts the wind flow and pulls the warmer air in. And in this scenario, you see the rain snow line gets up into Philadelphia, southern New Jersey, and DC, Baltimore, and then north of Richmond. Maybe Charlottesville stays over, but you can see it like that because of the secondary low there in Ohio Valley. So, but that's what the model is showing. Then the model, and of course, you could see the snowfall looked pretty significant. And, just to the north and west of Richmond, and the DC getting a big snow, Charlottesville and Roanoke, decent snow, Lynchburg, and up into Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York City, Connecticut, all decent snow. That's what the model was showing. That's the old run from February 2nd. Then the models began to take it away. And this here is, in February, this was February 2nd, the GFS constantly taking the low off the coast. And I've said many times that, the operational GFS beyond 72, 84 hours is not very good for East Coast winter weather. And sure enough, when we saw what happened today on Thursday, that's within 72 hours of Sunday morning, suddenly the GFS has a storm. So there you go. There's a reason why I make up that rule. It's not because I'm simply don't like the GFS. What I'm telling you is that it does not do well beyond 72 or 84 hours on East Coast winter storms. It doesn't. It's been that way for decades, and it's going to stay that way for decades. Now, once you get within 72 or 84 hours, the model's much better. If you look at the Ensemble, though, even though the operational run had this on February 2nd, 2 days ago on Tuesday, the Ensemble clearly showed a whole bunch of those. If you look at these red numbers in here, these show different areas of low pressure, different intensity. But there's the mean. Look at all the ones north of that. Look at all the ones on the west side of it. So this is all indicating a closer tracked low and the potential for winter weather, especially on the coast, the eastern and mid-Atlantic area. And sure enough, you look at the Ensemble on this is a GFS for you on Wednesday evening, the 18Z. It began to bring it back a little bit. It's driving the snow into central Virginia, up towards DC, and Charlottesville a little bit. Not a lot, but it's definitely beginning to trend that way. Then we came up with the 6Z models from this morning. So here is the 6Z GFS, and you can see, it was totally different and blew people away. Alarm bells went off everywhere in the weather world when this showed up here with this big change from a mist to this. You can see 1 a.m. two top maps, 1 a.m. Sunday, 4 a.m. Sunday, then 7 a.m., 11 a.m. Now remember, the dark blue is heavy snow here, folks. So this is saying heavy snow, Greensboro, just north of, up into Dansville, Winston-Salem, just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, the suburbs there, and then into southeast Virginia up towards Richmond. You can see 4 a.m. heavy snows in Richmond and interior eastern Virginia, Middle Peninsula, and Northern Neck, a moderate snow out to the west. And then look at the moderate to heavy snow here in this night band at 7 a.m. They even got snow, according to the 6Z, in Hampton Roads. Look at this. Yes, Hampton Roads here, 1 a.m., 4 a.m., and then at 11 a.m. Now, eventually what happens is the low is tracking like this. You can see it. And eventually the temperatures do go up at 11 a.m. and it pushes the rain snow line to Richmond. So it falls mostly as snow, ends as rain in Richmond. Charlottesville's all snow, Roanoke, Lynchburg, D.C., Baltimore, Dover, maybe Salisbury, southern Maryland's all snow, the northern neck, up in South Jersey, Philly. That's a pretty decent snow. Not a big snow, but it's a fast-moving event for Sunday. And then this was the 6Z GFS Ensemble, which is, let me shrink this down a little bit here for you. There you go. And you can see, again, 4 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 p.m., fairly fast-moving event, comes in pretty strong. When it comes down heavy, the precipitation, it's snow because it forces the temperatures down to 32 or 33 degrees, and it snows. Look at the snow here, 11 a.m. on Sunday morning on the 6Z GFS. You got this is a nice band of moderate to heavy snow right here. Look at that. Richmond, Charlottesville, Tappahannock, Manassas, St. Mary's, Cambridge into Dover. That's heavy snow if that's correct, of course. And then the low goes off the coast. You got the moderate heavy snow up towards New York City and Boston. It goes up this way, right across the area. So, like I said, a decent snow in terms of the snowfall amounts. Well, this was a 6Z GFS Ensemble. Let me shrink it a little bit again. There it is, a 5-inch, 6-inch snowfall in Richmond. Charlottesville, Lynchburg, Roanoke, St. Mary's, Central Delmarva, Southern New Jersey, Eastern Long Island, and Eastern Massachusetts, Cape Cod. A little less to the north and west of D.C., Philly, New York, but some snow there. And, a decent little snow event, no doubt about that. Very nice. That slide 19, this was the European at 6Z this morning. Now, it had to say, this is the operational European, as you can see. So this was the 6Z operational European, the regular operational, so-called the operational regular European, EC. And you can see it's got, this is interesting, this is all rain, except where it's coming down heavy, see that? It's snow. That's so interesting when that happens. When it's coming down heavy, it's snow, but when it's light, the temperature bounces up to 35 degrees and you get rain. See that? So there you go. So this also has snow into Hampton Roads. Now, how much does it accumulate? That I don't know, but that's what it's showing. And of course, now that only works up to a point. Down here in eastern North Carolina, it can come down all it wants to. It's not going to be cold enough to support snow at the surface. So that's what the 6Z European was showing. And here is the European Ensemble. Let me shrink this a little bit so you can see it some more. And you can see right here, again at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m., the low moves off the coast. The rain snow line pushes north of, just into the Richmond metro area. But again, everybody to the north and west, up to D.C., Charlottesville, Delmarva, nice snow there indeed, up into southeastern Massachusetts. Some snow gets into Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. Not a lot, but some. Now let's look at the 12Z models and see what they were showing. Well, here we go. Not much change. Amazing consistency here. All right, here's the 12Z GFS. 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m. Again, the dark blue is heavy snow. 1 a.m. Look at the snow coming down here, folks, in northern North Carolina. You can really coming down here. You can see that up into Hampton Roads, Williamsburg, Franklin, Emporia, Danville, Greensboro. Wilkesboro, north of Raleigh, just north of Raleigh. Winston-Salem, again, north of the Charlotte metro area, could even snow for a few inches there. Now, as a low moves off the coast, you can see the warm air does get in. And once the sun comes up, the temperature bumps up a little bit. And notice it goes over here again. After 7 a.m., 9, 10 a.m., it goes over to rain in Hampton Roads and south side of Richmond maybe. But still, look at this band of nice snow here at 7 a.m. Not too shabby Abby. Very similar to the previous 6Z run. And this here is this is 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock on Sunday. A low moves off the coast. Again, you can see that the rain snow line has pushed north of Hampton Roads up towards Richmond, close to there. And the main band of moderate snow, look at this, right along the 995 corridor, just to the south and east of D.C. This is just, D.C. might get the snow, heavy snow band, we'll see. But again, just east Charlottesville, Lynchburg, Farmville, Tappahannock, St. Mary's, most of the Delmarva, central and southern New Jersey. They got ripped off from the snow last time, so that should be nice. Eastern Long Island, right along Cape Cod. Very, very nice snow. And if you look at the snow amounts here, this was the 12Z GFS. And again, look, as you can see it here, but 4 inches in Richmond, not much in D. It's got this hole over DC, which makes no sense to me at all. You got 3 or 4 inches in Roanoke and Lynchburg and Greensboro, and then 3 or 4 inches in Northern Neck and St. Mary's and Dover, and so, a nice snow, not a big deal. It's going to have, not 10-to-1 ratio here, so keep that in mind. And then this here is the Kushera GFS. Now, but this is from the high resolution, new experimental GFS, the parallel model, GFS 16, which is pretty good. And it's also been very bullish with the system. Did not have it off the coast like the other GFS run did. Now, this has 7 inches in Richmond, 5 to 6, 7 inches in Richmond. Also 9 inches in Roanoke, 7 inches. Of course, this is 10-to-1 ratio. You might see that here. I don't know if you're going to see that here. So, you can drop this a little bit here, but still, this is a good, if this is right, this is a 3 to 6 inch snow band here. And this in Roanoke, maybe down toward Danville, Whiteville, places like that, Lexington, Charlottesville, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, very possible here. Maybe even 8, and some of this data is correct. How much is going to get eastern West Virginia? That I don't know. That's a good question. I don't. The model has several inches there. I don't know if it does. There's a nice band also here in central Tennessee, if you can believe that. Nashville could get this, a few inches of snow out of this into eastern Kentucky. So that's interesting to see. Okay, now here is the, make sure we call it up. This is a GFS Ensemble, and 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m. So let me move up a little bit here. You can see some more. And there's a snow band moving right across 1 a.m. Moderate snow here at 4 a.m. You can see the snow band very nice. This is moderate snow north up Harrisonburg, Tappahannock, getting into Williamsburg, down towards Franklin and Greensboro. Richmond's got it, Charlottesville, Lynchburg, Farmville, Amelia, Roanoke, Danville, Crew, Lake Kerr, you can all see that. Then 7 a.m. the GFS Ensemble, it's got snow in Hampton Roads here. Again, I don't know how much is accumulating. Certainly on the peninsula, it looks like it's going to snow pretty good there for a while. And then as the low gets to Hatteras, there's low approaching Hatteras. And you can see the heavy snow band, there it is. Richmond north side up into central Virginia, just boom, right through the heart of the state here. And there it is 11 a.m. Look at this moderate snow band again. Very similar alignment here. This is constantly showing up like this on many of these model runs on the GFS Ensemble with the nice snow band there. And it goes from Roanoke, Lynchburg, Charlottesville, Farmville, Goochland, Richmond, Ashland, Fredericksburg, Stafford, Tappahannock, St. Mary's, Calvert's, right into the Delmarva. And then that's at 11 a.m. And then at 1 p.m., well, there you can see it doing the same thing, moving up the coast with the low. And, there's a pretty chilly run on the GFS Ensemble. It's got decent snow here. And if we look at the snow amount and the temperatures behind it, this was interesting in my opinion. Oh, let me clear this out. There you go. And you can see, look at these temperatures coming in on Sunday morning. This is Monday morning here. All right, Monday morning. Look at these temperatures in the teens in central Virginia, single digits in West Virginia, really cold with heavy snow up in here. Very cold Arctic air coming in behind this. Don't be fooled about that. Then okay, now we can look at the European, operational European. 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m. Now, if you go back to the previous European model, here, this is much more snow. You can see the snow on 6Z run, it was embedded within this, in the rain. Here, it's colder. It's got more snow. So, yeah, here we go. 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m. And again, look at this, folks. The moderate to heavy snow band showing up right here. Oops. Right in this area. See that? Just, into Williamsburg, down to Franklin, Emporia, Greensboro maybe, and then, can see Western Hickory, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, and then Roanoke, Lynchburg, Farmville, Charlottesville, Richmond, Amelia, Crew, South Boston, South Hill, Tappahannock at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning on the European. And there it is, boom, going right up into here like this. See it? Very nice snow band here. I'm telling you, this does not look awful. And yes, the moderate to heavy snow does get into D.C. and Harrisonburg and Manassas and Culpeper, Warrenton, up to Baltimore on the European. It clearly does that at 7 a.m. And 11 a.m. And of course, when it's coming down heavy, it keeps your temperature at 32, 34 degrees, 33 degrees, and it's cold enough for snow, just barely. This is another version of it. I think I missed a slide. Yeah, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Notice as the precipitation lifts to the north, Richmond is beginning to change over. 1 o'clock here, 4 o'clock. There's mixed precipitation, but it's very light now, most of Virginia. And all the heavy stuff is up in the Delmarva and southern Delaware, New Jersey, and along coastal Connecticut, Long Island, and Massachusetts. This here is a version of it from Pivotal Weather here. They make some very, very good graphics here. I got their private service. They've got some excellent stuff on the private if you want to buy a subscription. No, I'm not associated with them. I just think they make good stuff. Sorry. And so I think if you're a weather nut and you want to get the inside stuff, you should, look at different services, and Pivotal Weather is one of the good ones. That's all. Okay. You can see here 1 a.m. on, 1 a.m. There you go. On Sunday morning, this is mixed precipitation. The rain's changing to snow here at 1 a.m. And then there you go. 6 hours later, this is 12Z. You got snow in Richmond mixing on the eastern side here. Moderate, decent snow in much of central and western Virginia up to D.C. Precipitation spreading into Philly. Again, when it starts off, it's kind of light, and then it picks up. It goes over to snow. Now, interestingly enough, here Hampton Roads gets a little bit of mix and it's not as snowy as this version of the European is. So there is some discrepancy here as to what's going to happen with Hampton Roads. So they got more rain here on on the pivotal weather European model depiction than the one from Weather Bell. So the Weather Bell has a tendency of running a little cold sometimes. And then here it is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice it's gone back over to rain in central and eastern Virginia because the precipitation has gotten lighter. So there you go. And then it's low moving off the coast. And if we look at the snow amounts in the European, look at that. From Greensboro and Winston-Salem to Richmond to Tappahannock, right through Farmville, Lynchburg, Amelia, a 4 to 6, 4 to 7 inch snow band there. Now, this is 10 to 1. It might be a little too high because the ratio is not going to be 10 to 1, especially in central and eastern Virginia, but 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, maybe, yeah. And of course, heavier in southwest Virginia. This here is the high resolution European. This is a different version, pivotal weather. And notice it's got a little more snow, 6 inches in Richmond. And this one here, it's got 8.5 in Richmond. I don't think you're going to see that. But it got the same general idea. You can see the main snow band here lighting up from almost from Asheville right through Hickory, Winston-Salem, right up like this. There's the main snow band. Now the problem is that once the snow gets up in here, your temperatures are much warmer. They're in the low to mid 30s, and I don't know how much accumulation you're going to get there. So that's why the timing is so important. This hits early in the morning when it's coldest out, and in many ways this is almost like a March snowstorm. It hits at the timing of the coldest day. All right, and then this here is the this version of is the Kushera, which uses a different snow algorithm. It's got 3 or 4 inches in Richmond metro area, lighter in some areas. It's a different type of way of measuring the snow. It uses Kushera's snow rhythm. Some people like it, some people don't. I got mixed feelings about it. I think it's okay. Some ways it's not. In this case, it's got very low snow in central and north central Virginia, DC, Baltimore. I think that's wrong. I think that's much more realistic. Okay. And even that's more realistic. All right, if we look at our soundings, and again, you can get these soundings from Pivotal Weather. They have European model soundings. So this here is valid 1 o'clock on Sunday, 37 degrees. I think I got this out of order here. Yeah, I meant to post a different one here. Hang on 1 second. All right, now here is the European sounding valid at 1 o'clock on Sunday morning. You can see the temperature is 40 degrees, dew point's 26. So your wet bowl is like 32 or 33 degrees when the precipitation starts. You see that? We're talking the area we're talking here. Let me make sure you can see what I'm talking about. Change my color so you can see it. Let's go the green. And you can see right in here I was talking about. You can see 40 degrees and 26 degrees. So that's where your wet bulb. And then during the event, this is after the event is over 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The temperature is 37 degrees, 34. It's gone back into rain. But during the morning hours, look at this. At 7 a.m., 33 degrees in Richmond. Just cold enough for snow. Now, Virginia Beach is 41, according to the European model. Now, the European model has a slight warm bias, so that may be a little too warm. But 32, 33 degrees, just cold enough for snow in central and northern and western Virginia. All right, let's look at the 18Z models here. And this here is the 18Z NAM, 12 kilometer. It's got more inland. You can see it's got a bigger system here. Heavy, heavy snow. This is way overdone. This is just way overdone. Way too much snow in this area. It's ridiculous. But people look at it, so I thought I'd point it out to you. This is what it's doing here. You can see it's got the heavy snow. It's 10 o'clock on Saturday night in Western Virginia, which is wrong. I think that's way too fast. And then it spreads into Eastern Virginia here, but the snow explodes up this way. You see that? And as a result, you don't get much in Eastern and Southeast Virginia, so the temperatures don't cool. And then when finally it cools, it warms up, and it's over rain here. Now you can see the big snow from Richmond northward into DC, to Philly, into Charlottesville, up to northern Virginia. That's a viable solution. I think it's too fast and too soon, but that's my opinion. Again, 12 kilometer NAM, this far distance and time, 60, 72 hours. It's just nonsense. If we look at the sounding here, let me clear this out. This here is a sounding, the 18Z sounding, and you can see that at 1 o'clock in the morning, there's your temperature. You're saturated on the GFS. Okay, so this is the 18Z sounding. See that right there, 18Z. So there it is, 37, dew point 36, 34. And then at 1 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock in the morning, there you are, 35 degrees, and the 18Z's got the rain snow line right through Richmond. So that's what the 18Z GFS is showing. And you can see what it looks like here. Not surprisingly, at 7 o'clock in the morning, to be consistent, the rain snow line has gone just north of Richmond. See that? Okay. And the low is off the coast. And you got moderate snow up into New Jersey and coastal Connecticut, New England, that sort of thing. Up into heavy, moderate snow in Southwest Virginia and Central Virginia, but it's gone over in Richmond on the 18Z GFS. But the Ensemble is not that warm. You can see there it is at the upper left is 10 o'clock Saturday night. It's just coming into the area. It starts off as rain in Eastern Virginia, no doubt about that. And then at 4 o'clock on Sunday morning, it's now coming a little faster actually. And there it is. Excuse me. Let me change my marker here. And you can see the moderate snow coming in like that right into Richmond. Here you go. Central Virginia. And pretty consistent. And then here we go. This would be 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. Big streak of moderate snow with sleet mixed in a lot of places right in all this area. Look at this. Very nice snowfall. Again, Richmond Metro just to the points north and west. Roanoke, Lynchburg, Farmville, Charlottesville, Lexington, the entire Shenandoah Valley, D.C., Tappahannock, Manassas, Culpeper, Baltimore, Hagerstown, Frederick, Philadelphia, Dover, much of New Jersey, and then up into New York City. Again, some sleet mixed in according to the model in some places. And then you look at the snowfall, not much though. Really not much at all in the GFS. You can see it's all the big snows in western portions of Virginia in the elevated terrain. The GFS Ensemble is a little different. Like I said, this is a little colder. So this snow map matches this, really, when you think about it. That matches this. If you look at the Ensemble here, here, and here, it matches that snow total. And again, 2 to 5 inches, very reasonable, very possible. Seems like a reasonable solution to me. Again, maybe the snow ratios might not be 10 to 1 in Eastern Virginia. Now this here is the 18Z European, and it keeps the main threat of the heavy snow here. Now why is it doing this? How come there's no snow north or south? Well, because this is the heavy snow band. See that? That's the heavy snow band on the 18Z European, which is what the European was showing earlier on the previous runs. We look at the European here. Go back to it, you can see it. That's where the heavy snow band is in the 12Z run. So that's what it does on the 18Z run. It hasn't really changed much. And as a result, that's where the heavy snow is. So if you're north of it, it's snow and rain mixed. If you're south of it, it's rain. But where the heaviest precip is, bam, it just comes down just hard enough to support accumulating snow of a few inches. Now, beyond this, let me go to the next one here, February 12th and 13th. And I've said this before many times. You can always see the big one coming a mile off. This here is February 12th and 13th. This is from the European model on February 1st. The Arctic air is in place here. Very strong Arctic high is located right here. 1045 millibars and stronger. There's the Arctic front. The low is here. The rain snow line is on the Virginia-North Carolina border. And then this here is the afternoon GFS. I'll show you what it's doing here. What it's doing is it has two pieces of energy here and here, the two blues, and they phase here, but that's too far inland. There's your 50-50 low. So that should be further to the east, but it doesn't do that. You can see the phase occurring here. And as you can see the trough axis is like this. So the low is right inland, not on the coast. And as a result, you get an inland track. That's just typical of GFS. It loves to phase things too early. That's the solution. You can see the ice getting into the mid-Atlantic and the snow, and goes over to rain, snow in the mountains, snow in New England, blah, blah, blah. Another typical winter storm. But the European is significantly different. Look at the difference between that map and this map. That map and this map. That map and this map. Vastly different. We can see several important features here. First, there's a humongous 50-50 low here, really powerful, blocking everything. Look at the massive Greenland block over Greenland, northeastern Canada. Massive. Strong ridge on the west coast up into Alaska. So what happens here is that here's your trough energy, and the front is way down here. So the low pressure develops here. And it cannot go this way because of the huge polar vortex. See that? It's going in this direction. So it has to stay to the east-northeast. It cannot come up the coast if that's right. And as a result, you end up getting this. I'll clear it out here. There's the front, stalls along the coast. This is February 12th. And the waves of low pressure move along the coast. The Arctic high is pouring the Arctic air southward into the front. Let me change it. Here you go. Into the front here like this. See, the cold air is coming south, but you have snow here on the north side of the front, and nice band of snow from western North Carolina into New England, right along the coastal areas. No further inland because the huge polar vortex is right here. So that's why these lows have to go off the coast, and you can see it just, persistent snow here. It's February 11th and 12th. This could be a big one, but we'll see. This is meteorologist DT from Weather Risk. I'll see you on the Facebook page and on the Twitter page.